This is Art with Kenneth. Hosted by artist Kenneth J. Lewis Sr. This channel takes viewers inside the studio, where paintings are built in real time and ideas take shape through process, patience, and intent. Each session reveals how structure, history, and emotion come together on the canvas. This is not a highlight reel. It's the work, unfolding.
Welcome to Art with Kenneth. Today's episode is titled Harlem in Oil Paint, Brownstones, Style, and a Classic Car. Inside KJL Art Sanctuary, artist Kenneth J. Lewis Sr. transforms a pre-sketched 60 by 80-inch canvas into a bold vision of elegance, history, and atmosphere. This painting brings the viewer into a stylized Harlem street scene where glowing brownstones rise behind a sharply dressed gentleman and the commanding presence of a 1933 Duesenberg Model SJ. The architecture is alive with warm color and expressive line. The automobile shines with power and prestige. The figure stands with calm confidence at the center of it all. What makes this work unique is not only the subject, but the process. Kenneth builds the man and the machine first, then floods the cityscape and ground with a burnt sienna acrylic wash, allowing drips, stains, and movement to become part of the story. Oil pastel energizes the window trims and details, while final passages of oil paint bring depth, light, and finish to the surface. This is not just a painting demonstration. It is history reimagined through gesture, texture, and imagination. Let's begin. The sketch is already on the canvas, but now the real transformation begins. Drawing provides the structure, but paint gives the subject life. The first marks establish mood, rhythm, and direction. On a large surface like this, every move carries weight. Today's scene is inspired by Harlem in the 1930s, a place where style, ambition, and cultural energy could be felt in the everyday movement of the street. This composition brings together three major forces: the gentleman, the automobile, and the architecture that surrounds them. Together, they create more than an image. They create presence. The vehicle is the legendary 1933 Duesenberg Model SJ, one of the most admired luxury automobiles ever built. In its time, it represented extraordinary craftsmanship, engineering, and status. It was powerful, refined, and instantly recognizable. Even decades later, the Duesenberg still carries authority. The sweeping fenders, the long body, the commanding grille, the bright chrome, the white wall tires. It was designed in an era when function and beauty were expected to exist together. As Kenneth paints the automobile, he is not interested in copying every detail mechanically, he is after character. The curve of a fender can be stated with one confident stroke. Reflections in chrome can be broken into warm and cool passages. Light can be suggested rather than over-explained. That is one of painting's great strengths. A camera records appearance. A painting can interpret feeling. It can exaggerate mood, simplify distraction, and direct the viewer toward what matters most. In this composition, the Duesenberg becomes more than transportation. It becomes a symbol of aspiration, movement, success, and elegance. It stands for the desire to move through the world with presence. Behind the car rise the brownstones of Harlem. These buildings are among the most iconic forms of urban architecture in America. Rows of facades, tall windows, carved entrances, stoops climbing from the sidewalk, repeating structures that create rhythm down an entire block. But brownstones are more than architecture. They hold memory. They are places where generations lived, gathered, worked, dreamed, and endured. Their walls contain countless unseen stories. In Harlem, those streets became home to a community whose influence shaped music, literature, style, politics, and culture far beyond the neighborhood itself. The buildings became part of that identity. When Kenneth approaches the architecture, he is not concerned with every exact brick or ornamental detail. He is after atmosphere. He wants the glow of warm facades against open sky. He wants the pull of perspective down the street. He wants the city to feel alive beyond the edges of the canvas. That is where expressive line and loose brushwork become essential. A few marks can suggest an entire building. A softened edge can create distance. A sharper accent can bring the eye forward. Suggestion often carries more life than overdescription. Now the eye arrives at the figure. The gentleman standing beside the automobile is the emotional center of the painting. Without him, the scene would be machinery and buildings. With him, it becomes human. He is dressed in the style of the era, tailored suit, tie, polished shoes, and hat. In the 1930s, presentation mattered. Clothing communicated dignity, discipline, ambition, and self-respect. Throughout Harlem, it was common to see men dressed sharply in daily life. Suits were pressed. Shoes were polished. Hats completed the silhouette. Appearance was not superficial, it was part of identity. The suit itself creates structure. Strong shoulders. Clean lapels. A deliberate line through the trousers. The hat frames the face and adds authority. Every detail contributes to presence. As Kenneth paints the figure, posture matters as much as detail. The man should feel grounded, calm, and certain of himself. Not exaggerated. Not theatrical. Just confident. Sometimes the strongest presence is quiet. Faces in painting require balance. Too much detail can stiffen expression. Too little and the personality disappears. A few thoughtful decisions around the eyes, mouth, and tilt of the head can carry the entire mood. The clothing becomes another place for painterly movement. Gray fabric is never only gray. It carries blues, violets, warm reflections, cool shadows, and shifting temperatures. Highlights across folds and creases bring the figure forward. What matters most is the relationship between the three main forces in the composition: human presence, mechanical presence, and architectural presence. Each has visual weight. Each must support the others. If the car dominates too strongly, the figure loses importance. If the figure overwhelms the scene, the setting loses grandeur. If the buildings become too rigid, they compete instead of support. Composition is the art of balance. Because this canvas is 60 by 80 inches, scale changes everything. The viewer does not simply look at the work. They stand before it. The automobile can feel monumental. The figure can feel near life-size. The street can open around them. Large paintings create immersion. Working large also changes the artist's movement. The arm becomes part of the mark-making. Strokes can be broader, more physical, and more alive. Energy can remain visible in the finished surface. Oil paint is ideal for a subject like this. It can be transparent or opaque, soft or bold, blended or textured. It allows revision, layering, glazing, and discovery. It gives the artist time to think while still responding to instinct. The early stages of a painting often appear unresolved. Shapes are blocked in. Colors are tested. Values shift. But this is where the foundation is built. Strong beginnings create stronger endings. Then the process takes an important turn. After developing the gentleman and the Duesenberg, Kenneth moves into the environment with a burnt sienna acrylic wash. This wash does more than add color. It unifies the composition. It warms the street. It ages the atmosphere. It creates a sense of memory settling across the surface. Suddenly the city feels lived in, weathered, and alive. The drips that fall down the lower portion of the canvas are not mistakes to be hidden. They become part of the language of the painting. They suggest motion, time, gravity, and process. They remind the viewer that this image was built by hand. Across the ground plane, the burnt sienna establishes warmth and richness. It turns empty space into atmosphere. It gives the scene visual heat beneath the cool grays and bright whites of the figure and car. Next come touches of oil pastel along the window trims and architectural details. These accents bring energy and rhythm to the buildings. They create sharp notes against the softer wash beneath. Small marks begin to activate the street. Oil pastel has a different voice than paint. It can be direct, immediate, and graphic. Used sparingly, it becomes a perfect contrast to broader painted passages. It wakes up the architecture without overpowering it. Then oil paint returns for the final passages of the episode. Highlights are placed. Shadows deepen. Certain edges are sharpened while others dissolve. The city gains depth. The car gains shine. The figure gains authority. The result is a surface filled with variety. Smooth passages beside textured ones. Controlled edges beside spontaneous drips. Warm transparent stains beneath opaque highlights. Structure beside freedom. As the painting develops, Kenneth imagines the sounds of the era. Footsteps on sidewalks. Conversation near the stoops. Engines in the distance. Music drifting from a nearby apartment or club. Harlem was never silent, and that rhythm can live in the brushwork. The gentleman in the scene is open to interpretation. He could be a businessman, a musician, an entrepreneur, a community figure, or a dreamer who carries himself with distinction. The viewer is free to complete the story. The automobile beside him can also be read symbolically. It may represent success, aspiration, beauty, ownership, or motion toward the future. Art allows symbols to hold many meanings at once. What Kenneth loves about scenes like this is how they connect time. A contemporary artist in a modern studio can step into history through paint. The past becomes active again, not as a frozen document, but as something reimagined and alive. The reference image may begin the journey, but once the painting starts, invention takes over. Composition changes. Colors shift. Emphasis moves. Reality becomes interpretation. By the end of this stage, the scene begins to breathe. The gentleman stands with presence. The Duesenberg commands attention. The Brownstones glow with energy. The ground carries the warmth of time. And yet there is still more to come. More depth. More refinement. More decisions waiting in the next session. That is the power of part 1. It captures emergence. The moment when raw materials begin to organize themselves into meaning. The story is forming, and the canvas has begun to speak. Part 1 comes to a close, but the painting is only beginning to reveal its full voice. The gentleman stands with quiet confidence. The Duesenberg shines with presence. The Harlem Brownstones now pulse with warm color, expressive detail, and the energy of the artist's hand. The burnt sienna wash, the pastel accents, and the layered oil passages have transformed the scene from sketch into atmosphere. In Part 2, Harlem and oil paint, brownstones, style, and a classic car will move deeper into refinement, detail, final balance, and full visual impact. Thank you for spending time inside KJL Art Sanctuary for another episode of Art with Kenneth. If you enjoy the meeting of art, history, and process, stay connected for the next chapter. The masterpiece is still unfolding. Thank you for joining Kenneth today on Art with Kenneth. Your support truly means the world to him. Every view, every comment, every share helps keep independent art alive and growing. Through each episode, Kenneth J. Lewis Sr. brings you into the studio, into the process, and into the mindset of a working artist who lives and breathes creativity every single day. If today's episode inspired you, taught you something new, or simply gave you a moment of peace, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. Your engagement helps expand the reach of the channel and builds a stronger creative community around the work. He looks forward to creating with you again soon. And remember, every masterpiece begins with a single brushstroke. See you next time.